G'day viewers, this is Troy from Troy's Visual Arts channel. Since my last video, I've worked on the next stage of this cathode ray tube television project using the Freebie P1 scope tube. And the next part after building the AC and DC power supply units is to build the CRT driver circuit, which I've done, and I'm now in testing phase, which I'm testing the output voltages of the cathode ray tube driver circuit. Now I've got it all rigged up and it's currently switched on as I speak, and I'm happy nothing's smoked up or anything like that, so that's good so far. Just prior to this video, I've tested the output voltages and they are actually quite out in comparison to the given voltages on this schematic diagram. So I'm going to have to talk to my mate Harry about that and see what he says. The input voltage to the ASTIG controller is close to correct, but the input voltage, the input high voltage is actually far off. It's minus 1325 volts, and here we've got like nearly 80 volts difference. We should be getting minus 1320 volts. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. And also this 75 volt diode is I'm only getting a voltage drop of 72.5 volts, so I don't know what the deal is with that, because I've bought them brand new from JCar. But anyway, I'll just demonstrate. I'm testing the voltages out. So I've got my multimeter here. I've got it earthed to the chassis of the power supply unit, which is the common ground points. And I've got my homemade high tension probe to test high voltages, and whatever the reading on the meter is, it's pretty much the actual voltage divided by 100. So yep, on the output of this high voltage power supply unit, we're getting minus it's just got to hold it against that. So we're getting about minus 1320 volts, and we're getting about and for the other output we're getting about 332 volts. And so on the output here we're getting, for pin number 9, which is the anode 2, we're getting 150 volts. Now I can as I've got an adjustable pot here, a little bit about the pot. So I've added for protection, particularly for the focus adjustment, which is running at very high voltages. I'm using a nice insulated control knob off a radio, and I'm using another insulated control knob for the other pot. So we're getting high voltage running through them pots, so it's good to have good insulation, otherwise you're going to get zapped, which I copped a bit of zapping on my iconoscope camera because of the high voltage is going through a couple of the pots. But anyway, so getting to the point, for the ASTIG control, we're getting, on testing, I'm getting a range of 100 to 220 volts. So turn the knob down to one way, we get to one end, we get about 102 volts, close enough to 100. Then we turn it to the other end, we get about 218 volts. So yeah, pretty much around what I've written down there. And for the focus control, relative to ground, we get a range from about 756 volts to about 868. Well, I've got written down here minus 758 to 870. So yeah, that's the voltage range I'm getting on the focus adjustments. But anyway, yeah, it is way off mark. I should be getting about minus 935 volts maximum relative to ground, and plus 385 volts relative to the 1320 volt point there. But anyway, yeah, the circuit is overall working, but the voltages are quite out, so I'm going to have to talk to Harry, my mate Harry, about this and see what we can figure out. But anyway, that's the completion and testing phase of the driver circuit for the cathode ray tube. Well, that's one of the tests done anyways. There's a few tests to do yet. So, yep, this is test 1 done. Anyway, that's pretty much about it. I'll be on to the second phase of testing this board out, which I think I have the actual tube connected for the second phase in testing, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, this is Troy from Troy's Visual Arts channel, signing out.